has a procedure tomorrow, and I
Okay.
want to call her and talk to her
Yeah.
um before she goes to bed, and she goes to bed usually like around that time. So
Okay.
I yeah, it's a pretty normal procedure, but she's been talking about it a lot, so I just want to talk to her before I go to bed.
Right, right. Ease your
She
mind,
has it
ease your mind.
Yeah, she has it early in the morning. Um so I'm not going to get to talk to her in the morning before, you know.
I gotcha. That's awesome, man. Yeah, for sure.
Um but yeah, other than that, had a pretty good weekend.
How's the weather now?
It was it was a little gray yesterday, but
Okay.
I went to the No Kings protest, and I made signs for myself and the person that I was going with. Like, she invited me. She like originally like had you know a friend ask her to go to this protest with her,
Let me just
and
ask you real quick, just to make sure that I'm following. I think you said it's a no kings protest, which I'm guessing is the
yeah,
opposition of an oligarchy. Is that what the protest is for?
yeah, it's like in
Good.
opposition of
That's
yeah,
cool.
like Trump's parade, his like
Yeah.
military parade. Um,
Yeah. It's gonna be a
but
problem if people don't step up, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people in Chicago did. There were a lot
Good.
of people there. There were a
Good.
lot of people there.
My
Um,
homies. That's all I can think of. Chicago, I'm far from it, but it's always in my heart. You know what I mean? Like that's I might not have been native born, but like that's like definitely where I grew up, and I like yeah. I love that city for sure.
let me just, sorry, I downloaded the new album, and I'm just
It's
putting it in the thing here, and
you're
then
all good. Uh,
saving
it,
a playlist.
it's really just that the thing I love about Chicago is that they will rally to a cause, and you
Uh-huh.
can always count on your neighbors to be like with you and around you. You know what I mean? Like Chicago binds together, and it doesn't matter like who you are or where you're from. Like if you're there right now, you help out or you get help.
It's true.
Which
Like
I mean,
the communities really do come together,
oh
and
yeah, hell yeah, that's why they
stand
exist
by
and
each
are so strong. Yeah.
let's see, I'm gonna start it.
What's up, Aaron
We're just
Cosbill?
gonna
Hey folks,
How are
what's the
you?
buzz?
What's going on, Aaron?
Welcome to Drawing with Jack, Aaron Cosbill,
Yeah,
Jack Haynes.
I am starting my stream now.
Hell yeah. So, Jack, have you seen any of the thumbnails that that are thrown up for YouTube?
In what, the Discord or just on the YouTube channel?
Well, so it's the YouTube channel, but I keep posting them up in the Discord. But that, which means you've been seeing the thumbnails, because that's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I see them in. I see the stuff that you post in the Discord.
Yeah, it's one and
Like,
the same. Just letting you know where it's at. But
okay.
like, yeah. So I started using your face more, the catching the reacts, to things we're talking about in the conversation. Yeah, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Because I was thinking, is
yeah.
like, it's the show about drawing with Jack, which is you. So like the show focuses on you. So I hope that's okay. I didn't ask before I did it, but I was like, Jack uh, is the
Well,
one
I
who's
hope
drawn, and
yeah.
like yeah. So
Well, I hope I bring an appropriate level of react to every episode. Like, I
well, you do.
wrote
That's the fun thing is that like I have so many choices from every episode, and every outfit you're wearing to choose from. I mean, I just enjoy that. You live in the moment, right? Like it's just a fantastic.
right.
Like as you're drawing, as we're talking, it's just like yeah. Uh,
Okay. Sorry, hold on. My tablet is acting up.
okay.
I think I need to hold on. I'm gonna stop the stream for a second. So I need to take a look at my services.
Aaron Cosby, how are you, man?
Services. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I had a good day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a good weekend?
Uh, yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
I did get
I
to
hung
talk
out
to
with
you
you
before.
last night,
Yeah, that was
so
good.
that was a lot of fun.
Good time. I'm talking to Chandler to see if he wants to get together either on Thursday or sometime during the day, like Tuesday to Thursday. We could get together.
All right.
Because he has some ideas kicking around, and I know he's anxious to like put them on, start the music on them.
That sounds good to me.
Oh, so I'll see
Sorry, guys, I'm
what he
back.
says. You all good? You back?
But are
Ready?
you Backstreet's back? All right.
All right. Nice.
I wish I was back that much.
Hey, do you mind backing up real quick since you're working on this frame? Um, so the his arm on the far left of the panel. Now, to me,
Uh,
it looks too long, but you could also be like,
this
no,
one,
it's
this
not
one.
because of these reasons. Yeah, that far right one. Now, we kind of talked about it before, but like it wasn't, like before you color it. Can we do something? I really like the hugging gesture.
Uh-huh.
Like I think that that's good, and I like the body posture of what he's doing. But are his arms
You
really
think
that
it's
long?
you think his arm is too long? I mean,
Maybe it's his fingers that are added that's giving it the extra length. That's the only
yeah,
arm I
I think
felt that
that
about.
possibly it because it seems to be in proportion to. But I mean,
Okay.
we can here. Like I do remember you saying something about this, and just yeah, here.
Yeah, before we got too
Something that
far
we
ahead of
can
it. Yeah.
something we can do for sure is like we don't even have. Ooh, is
Nice.
that too okay? Um,
So
hold
Jack,
on.
this is why I'm glad that you're on the case, because that would be like a major setback for me. But you're like, oh yeah, no, I'll just redraw it and recolor it. You know what I mean? Like, so you're like, because you can do that. You have the skills to do that.
Yeah, we can just redraw this. And in fact, we can make it so that we don't even have to.
Well, see, like again, I like both the body language of his body and the hug that he's giving Peter. I think that that's like a really cool,
I think we can have both without having to look at the
interesting. Okay, cool, cool. All right,
arm.
I trust that you've got it. So I'm done with this, dude.
I trust. He's like, I trust that you got it.
Well, I know you
Yeah.
can because
Pardon
like
me.
that's the thing. Like like that's why I was like, we need somebody who can actually do good art. Was when I was like, we should talk to Jack. Um,
Uh.
since everyone
So
has different skills. What you got, man?
yeah. So we hide it kind of behind something like that. Do I have the sketch turned on? Okay. Um. Back to the sketch layer. So my man's shoulders, like right there.
You check. Okay.
We just
Oh
put the
yeah.
fingers on the shoulder
Oh
like
yeah.
that,
You're doing that. Yeah, 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 exactly. That's cool. Then we
and
don't have to
then
even talk about how the length of its arm, right? It's just he's still
you
giving the
don't
hug.
even see the arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So come back up here.
And he's still like grabbing his brother's arm, being like, "Sing with me," you know.
All right. Oh, let's
The
simulate this.
absolute silliness of this story comic, animation is the thing that keeps me coming back to Cox in Space. So for the record, Aaron Cosby, if you'd like to weigh in at this time, the person who brings
Uh,
the silliness to Cox in Space.
uh, I mean,
I mean, like, what's your
uh,
inspiration? Like, why? Because ultimately, right, like the reason this project exists is because you've held on to it, being like, no, it must continue to exist because it is like it got in your brain and then like I don't know, whatever you say, it like germinated, right? Like a little seed. like got into your gray matter, and then like it took root and all the little thought in the world like spread out in your brain. And then this what it seems like. At some point you woke up in a cold sweat and like had just like dreamed up the entire Cox in Space backstory.
Well, so this is like Cox in Space is a cherished memory, like
For
us
sure,
doing the
yeah. Oh,
show.
for
And
sure.
then I've been seeing some plays and stuff, and I was like, what if you took out that lazy boy story we had,
Mm.
and
Which would be a fun side plot if
made
we
it
ever
a
want to go explore it, but like not related to the show at all.
yeah, and just like made it like a play, but with like 4 or 5 episodes, um and like you were binging a show,
Right, right.
with a next and stuff, like next episode sort of deal. So I
That would
came
be a
up
cool
with,
way to premiere a show. Like if you did live performances of it, where you did like you could watch the whole series all together, or you could catch it over a number of nights, or you could only just watch one episode.
yeah,
Anyway, as a live show.
yeah. So yeah, like so I just like came up with like uh some like ideas of what an expanded Cox and Space universe might look like,
Right,
uh, like drawing on what drawing on like Doctor Who and Star Trek,
right,
and like just like making it an adventure comedy show. Um, I was
right.
actually like originally going to uh, turn the rename the Pussy Paradise episode H.G. Wells for like High Gravity Wells. And then
Uh,
try to think
uh,
about like
right. Like,
like some H.G. Wells references to throw in there. Uh,
Fucking HG Wells.
right. Um, yeah, exactly. We would have to have a time travel episode if we did that, for sure.
yeah,
Which I guess we already do. The conclusion of season one is the beginning of the time travel episode of Hermes from the
yeah,
future. Yeah,
yeah. What what we lay behind.
what we leave
Uh,
behind. Uh,
Pipe we lay behind.
exactly.
The pipe we lay in the behind.
Hey, wow. That was you got it. You might switch your screen back over.
Oh shoot!
You're all
I'm
good.
so
Also,
sorry, dude.
Split is
I am
dope,
so
dude. Like real fun.
yeah. That last song was like not really hitting with what Kaz was talking about, so I didn't want to discordantly like take away from his like beautiful memories and shit.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah, no, this is like very nice. I like this. I
oh,
like
this
this.
is cool.
Yeah. Here, let me adjust my thing here a little bit so that we can. I want to keep the uh, music, but not the scrolling. I'll get rid of the scroll so we have less. I want to keep the.
Oh, yeah. It shows what you're listening to.
Yeah, the music thing.
Yeah, I
So
think that's dope. It's definitely one of the things that like I'm glad that we talk about music on this show is because it's good for recommendations. There's been like little Easter eggs in case anyone's listening and watching where
I mean,
I've left in your entire
I
playlist so
yeah,
that people can
I
see
doubt the
what you're
band.
listening.
I doubt the band will like that we just play the entire album in its entirety. But so,
It's yeah, so probably will get edited out of the podcast officially
yeah,
because otherwise
gotcha.
we can't monetize those videos. But it's a thing that can be done. But if you have it up on the screen, you can still like call out the music that you enjoy listening to
Yeah,
without
I
violating a
mean,
copyright law. So the band
yeah,
gets the
and we
recognition,
can
not necessarily.
encourage people to visit the Bandcamp and the websites and buy
Hell
from the
yes.
artists directly
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you want to support artists. Like we're
And
we're not
yeah,
being supported.
that's the thing. Like if you go through their label, they're still not making any money from it generally. I mean,
Right,
it's been
exactly.
changing a
You want to
little bit.
buy.
But yeah, if you go through
directly.
any record label, yeah, that's why merchandising is very important. To buy T-shirts from the band, going to see them in the
Yeah,
actual venue is important because that money goes to them.
exactly.
That's the reason that they, like there's more to do,
Yeah,
more money to make. So yeah, they're gonna be up on the screen if you want to check it out. What Jack's listening to, uh, like all
yeah.
the time, which I fully
It's
support.
great.
Yeah,
His
and that
albums
was
are great.
yeah, and bands. If you want Jack to listen to you and you up on the podcast, pass it over this way. Reach out
Yeah, yeah. I would
DMs
love to get some.
and messages. You can find all that on coxonspace.com. So, oh yeah, right. I'm sure you would. Like, they're like, oh, you like Squid? Listen to this. And you're like, bro, like I did not know of that band, and now I do.
Yeah, I love knowing about bands.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
knowing about. Okay.
Well, that's been one
How
of
do
the
we
big
think?
things.
So what do we? So what do we? What do we? What do we? How do we think? What do we think?
That's exactly what I was asking for. Like you
Okay.
just solved the whole problem. Yeah, because it's like, okay, that looks normal. I kind of understand where his elbow bends, but my brain's doing the work.
Yeah,
And
like I wanted it to seem like he was like they were in like a real like buddy buddy moment. So I guess I
yeah,
kind of like put the whole like forearm out there to like make it feel like it was like a real like, oh, like you're my like I have my whole arm around you, like
yeah, like
you're my good
totally.
friend.
And like
Um,
both of those things read, but like yeah, I
yeah,
that one my brain's not breaking over. That's the only thing I can tell you. So
that's fine. No, I get it. I think it reads pretty much the same like that. It's just this the hand on the shoulder. It yeah, but it's it's fine. Like it's they're singing together. They're singing together.
it's definitely a
After
lesser of the
seeing this
moment. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
after seeing this giant vagina in space.
And his last line on that panel that you're looking at now is full thrust. And then
Full thrust.
yeah, they sing the Cox and Space theme song right after that.
Dude,
So because
full
they're
thrust.
spreading happiness across the
Dude,
universe.
full
Yeah,
thrust.
yeah.
Dude. Their eyes are a little, I'm like, see, I'm like looking at this panel now, and I'm like, their eyes are like too forward facing. That's not like
That's
Roosters. Their eyes are on.
that's really interesting. Yeah, no, that is like
Yeah.
super aggressive of them to be. Um,
Do you think I should leave it, or do you think I should
it
fix it? Because I'm like, I don't.
it doesn't bother me so much. The front, I think
Yeah,
it's the first time we've seen them from the front,
yeah.
and they are
Because it's
kind of
like,
like humanoid.
yeah.
Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fine
It
with
looks fine.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I did not
Cool.
even read that as wrong. But that is the first time we've seen them full frontal like that, right? Like the first panel
Yeah.
is just them looking to the side, and
Because
we've
the
seen all these.
first page,
Yeah,
they
and then it's
kind
backwards,
of, it kind of
sideways,
can't
three
tell that
quarters.
it's. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know.
I would say as a cartoon, it seems like okay if they're looking at it from that perspective, where you're looking at them
Yeah,
almost like full on for them to look kind of humanoid. Because I think that's what your
yeah,
brain expects. But then mostly, I do like what you're doing where you're cheating the left side and right side so they can have that chicken appearance. It's like that fucking Peppa Pig thing. Like, they don't have four eyes, but when they look left, they have two eyes, and when they look right, they have two eyes. You don't know the
yeah.
Peppa Pig thing?
I've heard of Peppa Pig, but I don't know
Okay, so
it
the
intimately.
the animation is a bright pink pig in a little enclosed, and and it's really flat, like two-dimensional animation, right? So it's just like the shape
Mhm.
of a pig. So when she's looking to the right, she has two eyes. But when she's turning around the other direction and looking to the left, she still has two eyes. So if
So
you
it's drawn by Picasso?
so if you're looking at
What?
it, yeah, that's the impression. If you're looking at it from the front, then she would have four eyes. But it's done in this flat, like 2D way. Anyway, so like that's my argument. If you're looking at the chickens from the front, they're gonna have more humanoid faces. But
Yeah,
arguably, we want the sideways view more.
it's sort of like what you're doing with the sometimes teeth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they're humanoid-ish. Um, and I'm sure that animation continues and the team grows larger, there's definitely going to need to be a book written. And this is probably one of those things that will go in there. We'll be like, hey, you see the way that Jack drew the chickens like this? You need to draw the chickens like this. Like, it's going to be like, oh yeah, Richard's comb is always floppy. That's going to be a rule in
Oh,
the yeah, because it is, right? And Peter's whatever his struggle thing is called, Waddles always rest in his feathers.
right.
You've seen the Simpsons rule book, right? Jack as an illustrator.
Uh,
I'm sure you have.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
And
mean,
or like the Ren and Stimpy one probably had one too, and King of the Hill had one. Um, just
yeah,
like
I'm
because
sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you, man. I'm so sorry.
it's the delay. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So as soon as we get those sponsors in, the internet speed is gonna go up, and that will be fantastic.
that
So
will be fantastic.
but yeah, if you farm out your animation to where they generally do like China or like South Korea, where they have really talented artists who can work as a group for unfortunately cheap. They have rules in which it want to be followed, so that it looks
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
consistent. And so like yeah,
Right.
they'll say things like after season one, don't do crazy eyes in like The Simpsons, um, which is this
Yeah,
one look, this like this in between animation. It's probably happening less now because they've already been exploited and then imported into an AI. So I imagine that's more of that what's going to be happening. But
yeah.
for just
Well,
like
so far, are they are is AI still against the union rules
I would
for
imagine
animation?
it should be and would be against the union rules unless they were somehow getting paid for it. Which is really ultimately the thing, right, with AI. Like, it's not a bad thing to move forward with AI. It's a bad thing that they're stealing it, all the data to build it, and then expecting to
Right.
get paid for the off their stolen data. Like, AI should only be legal to use in a money-making capacity if they figure out which fragments came from who and gave that money in fraction back to them
Hmm.
because you could, right? Like it's really just
Yeah.
passing information through filters, and then that's why it's creating an image or a series of movements or whatever is because it's farmed off of data, and so they should have to pay whoever the models are. And if they just tracked it from the beginning, then it would be a legitimate source to like pay the artist who did it, and then like no one would have a problem with AI. People's problem with AI, and this is what they're not talking about, is that it's all stolen art or it's stolen,
Yeah.
footage. That's why, and they're pissed that people are trying to make them pay for it.
Well,
And
I mean, they should make it so that if you can prove that your artwork was ever used to train the model,
well, that's the
you
thing, is
get
that they don't have.
money for as long as the model is being used. And then if
Yeah,
you're
well,
being
that's
specifically prompted, then you should get more money. But if you're just
100%. See, like that's the thing, right? Like exactly. So it pays back the people that the information has to come from somewhere. And the fact of the matter is the program could be told to make sure that it tracks where it's stealing the art from, where it's scraping its data from, so it can pay back the
yeah.
people who are responsible for it. It can be told to do that. It just hasn't been programmed into it. But it should be a law that if you're going to extract data to put into AI, that you have to source your data so that you can pay back out if it makes money. Like that should be. I mean, if you want to control like what's
Well,
wrong with AI, that's where you should be going.
well, if you were ever used to train the AI, like you should just like if the AI is making money, the profit should be shared with everyone who ever trained it
Yeah,
at a base level. I mean, and maybe that would be like sense on, whatever, like, Spotify style, but it should be something if you were ever used to be trained to train the model. And I think that would be one way to kind of keep it so that, it's understood that we care about the artists that are, you know, like big and small, like we care about all of
exactly,
them that
exactly.
like help this thing like fake its art, like
And that's all.
um
I mean, if that was the case, the union would have no problem with it. Everyone would be on board with advancing as much as possible because everyone would get the payout. But
Yeah.
the thing is, the people who are the leads of it do not like paying out anybody and are trying
Right.
to make it so
Exactly.
that they can take all information into the public domain. I'm not calling them out for legal reasons, but you can find out who they are because they're making themselves prominent. Uh, so yeah, I mean that's what it makes me feel, just like Jack feels. You gotta sometimes jiggle your tip.
I mean, if you're making money off of these artists, like it's really gross. Like you should, like I don't know, like we should really be more concerned about like supporting art because these machines aren't going to, you know, they're not going to be interested in human expression. They're not going to be interested in like what like makes
Okay, I'm
uh
gonna because
a human being.
I'm gonna back up your argument just one step because this is what it is. If you're admitting that you cannot make these things without artists, what do you think is gonna happen when there's no artists to feed it anymore?
Right.
Exactly what you're saying. Like no AI is gonna be able to express human emotion because it's all sourced from humans.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just going to degrade from there without like fresh input.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
fresh input is going to be human beings working to like adjust expression, but that's only going to make sense to us like inside of the paradigm of like how we you know see and interact with the world, like machines and AI are going to have a completely different, like if they ever even touch uh creative thinking, like their creative thinking is going to be so different from ours because they see the world differently, they interact with the world differently, they
100%.
experience time and space differently.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, like their creative output is going to turn so, I don't know, like
Generic.
not.
What'd you say?
Generic. It's gonna
Generic.
make it
Yeah.
so that like uh all the art is based off of what everybody is already like.
Right.
Uh like music.
Yeah.
So everything's like how music is sort of starting to sound very similar to each other.
Yeah.
Uh art is gonna look very similar to itself. Um
Yeah, that's the
Well,
degradation that Jack was talking about. Yeah, it's gonna go through this
well,
phase where it just continues to degenerate.
yeah, that's if it's just AI, because it's like exactly like all it's going to do is continue to regurgitate the stuff that it started with,
Yeah.
and it's just going to turn into like very generic globular clusters of these things, and that's if these AIs never touch creative thinking. If they just continue to be what they are now, which is regurgitators of stuff that we already consider to be creative and you know awesome, like looking artwork, but in a few years, like especially like 5 to 10 years, like we will not think that it looks anything cool at all. So
It's
um
probably gonna be so common. Yeah, exactly. Like most of the internet's gonna be made up of artificial content.
yeah, like so Spotify has a DJ,
Yeah.
a DJ AI.
Have you tried it?
Um, yeah, yeah.
How how
But
how is it?
all it plays is algorithm and blues.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
wow.
You set us up, man. You set us up for that. That was I had to give you delivery. That's 100%.
I thought it was going to be a real thing.
Yeah. I
No,
mean, it
I
is.
mean it is a
Look
real
it up.
thing.
Yeah, you can Google that. They're also having the algorithm blues.
And I have tried it, and like I have some complaints, like it won't play the end of songs.
What?
Like
Oh,
it just
Does
like
it fade into other
fades
songs
everything into each other,
like a
and
DJ?
like yeah, but then I don't ever get to hear like the final bits of certain
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, 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 exactly.
That's my favorite part.
And
well,
Like
you know
also,
algorithm wise, it knows what I've downloaded and listened to on Spotify,
okay.
so it can recommend similar things, and
And how do you feel
it's
about
pretty
that?
easy to do that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I've heard some good stuff based on The Algorithm and Blues.
Damn it, dude, you did it again.
I mean, I just listened to oldies and musicals and like
So they had you
Sinatra and
pegged.
stuff.
Okay, gotcha,
So
gotcha.
it's pretty easy to recommend stuff to me
That,
from
that's
that
fair.
era of things.
Yeah,
Um, or it's like they play oldies, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember hearing this on the radio when I was growing up. Because all my parents listened to was stuff from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so I continued that.
gotcha.
And
Wow, that's not far from being it's closer to being 100 years than it is far away from it. That was said in the most stupid way. So we're only 30 years away from the 50s, 25 years away from the 50s in this new century. So it's closer to being 100 years old than it's not.
yeah, and yeah, I can't wait for like the 1950s music just to get some sort of futuristic sound in the 2050s. Um, Earth Angel and Johnny Be Good.
Right, yeah, exactly. But the space version of those tracks.
Yeah. Space Angel, Space Angel.
That song always makes me think of Superman 3.
That's
What?
interesting.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like
is
playing.
it?
It's like playing in a scene at Superman 3 when Lana Lang is waiting for someone somewhere.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
like a
very.
time period thing. Is
It's
it?
like a very specific memory for me.
That's interesting. Yeah, mine is Back to the Future. Uh,
Yeah.
because that's I think they're dancing at the end, and he's playing. He's like
Yeah,
they've
Yeah,
with Luke
satisfied the
Hammond
plot.
doing Pete.
Yeah. Uh, so that's interesting. I wonder if there's more movies that was used in at that time. That I'm gonna Google it real quick, see if you can pull up movies using Earth Angel. Do you know who sings that, Aaron?
Um,
save,
Yeah, so
save.
it was
Sorry,
used in Happy Days, apparently, the TV show.
I can
And
believe that.
yeah, it was of course the Back to the Future, Superman 3, which you called, and then the Karate Kid Part 2. So if there's any Karate Kid Part 2
Oh
kids
yeah,
out there who are like, no,
yeah, I
actually
remember
it was
that.
Karate Kid Part 2, kudos to you guys too, because that's fun.
Karate Kid Part fucking 2.
So and then there was a movie that was named after the song. I wonder if they used it in the movie.
I imagine they'd have to, right?
I
Well, they'd
mean,
not have to, but like it'd be easy to do.
it's probably because that song came out in the 60s and the movie the ghost gets killed in the 60s.
And it's sung by a group called the Penguins.
Oh yeah, the
The
Penguins.
Penguins. That's a fun fact.
I recognize the name. I don't know anything about that band, but I recognize the name.
Looks like it's an all black group from
I did know
1954.
that.
A doo-wop group from Los Angeles, California. Uh,
Odd.
and
Also, hard time to be alive for those guys.
and it was one of the first rhythm and blues songs to cross over to the pop charts.
Ooh.
Algorithm and Blues.
The algorithm
Go
in blues.
Penguins.
Oh yeah,
Okay, Penguins.
it's your birthday. Right? Like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, that it doesn't really make sense that it was in the other movie. I've got to find out more about the Earth Angel movie.
Earth Angel. Earth Angel.
And this is really what I've been waiting for this entire time.
Won't you be mine, my darling dear, love you for all time. I'm just a
A
fool
fool in
in
love.
love with you.
With you.
Uh, I hope that sounded cool on the recording. The delay for everybody was just throwing it all off, but we did it. We are the Penguins. If
We
Logan
are
was, if Logan was here,
Not
we
the
could have
penguins.
started
Not
the
even close.
yeah. Keep us in check,
I
yeah.
I can wear a tux. That would
Right,
make me a
yeah.
penguin, right?
Closer, a little
Now,
closer, yeah.
now to do op groups. I have a friend in North Carolina who is in, or maybe it's South Carolina, who is in a quartet. He's in a some kind of, not a barbershop quartet, maybe a barbershop quartet, some kind of musical quartet.
Like an acapella?
I mean, I mean, I think they play instruments because he plays an instrument.
Oh, that's fun.
I think he plays the trombone.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know that an actress named Rainbow Harvest is in the movie Earth Angel from 1991. And the more that I find out about this movie, the more I really want to see this movie. It's on Tubi,
You
if
say an
anybody.
actor named Rainbow Harvest?
Yeah, the actress in an actress in Earth Angel is named Rainbow Harvest.
Wild. That's a
Yeah,
wild name.
exactly. So yeah, I might be checking that out on Tubi later. If you guys want, I'll get you an update.
Mark Hamill's in it.
Oh, no
What?
way. Okay, this gets better and better. How could I have missed that in the notable people section of IMDb?
What?
Yeah,
I just put cat, and he's the first one came up.
that
Eric Estrada in there.
wait.
Just wrong.
Are we looking at the same movie?
Earth
'Cause
Angel, 1991.
yeah,
Rainbow Harvest, play
yeah.
Cindy.
Nice. Okay, yeah. All right. She actually does play Cindy. Oh, that's
All
awesome.
right.
Which is the main character?
All right.
Yeah, but like that's weird because again, I don't none of those like faces popped up at all. Um, that I
Oh,
noticed.
when I googled it, like there's a button called Overview, and right next to it is Cast. And
No, I definitely agree that you are correct about that. Um, but in the top cast section, I'm gonna text it to you right now because it's still up like that. It's saying that Cindy Williams and Kathy Poedel are the ones that are the most notable people of this cast, followed by Rainbow Harvest, who's actually the main character, and then after that, it's Mark Hamill and Eric Estrada. Like they weren't the top builds, like actors, actresses at all in the whoever set up this IMDb. They're like, no, you know who it was? It was Cindy Williams who played Judith, who was
Yeah.
really
I
she
mean,
was the
it was
hero.
obviously set up by Stevie Williams for Judith.
I'm guessing, yeah, exactly. They're like, oh yeah, these minorly
We're
noted
the ones who
characters.
made this movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm like, sorry. So you are more correct. Again, I want to give a big shout out to Aaron Cosbill. Like, I just love that he is on the podcast because his attention span is slightly longer than mine and can read like full sentences, can scroll through a couple pictures. Like, I will give it the briefest of glances and be like, I think I know a thing about this topic. And he'll be like, no. Let me finish reading the paragraph first, which is key. I mean, it's really key. Yeah.
Eric Estrada.
Eric
Here's
Estrada.
Eric
We would have
Estrada.
missed that. I mean, I would have come back later with the report being like, guys, guess what? Eric Estrada's in
Eric
this movie.
Estrada.
And somehow Mark Hamill as well, which makes me feel like I may have already seen this movie because I think Mark Hamill is way
I
more
feel like
interesting
I
as
did.
every
I
other
feel like it was
character.
on TV.
Yeah, it
I
was a
feel like it
TV
was on
movie
TV
in
at some point.
'91. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's starting to sound really familiar, but like there was all sorts of stuff you could have watched on TV.
No, I feel like I saw this. It was like on some like independent film channel or something, and it was like Mark Hamill, you know, and he was he was trying to play like a heartthrob kind of like some mystery was happening to him, and I don't know. I just remember seeing like something on TV about it.
First of all, this movie sounds spectacular. Secondly, let's
About a
figure out
Mark
what.
Hamill movie, anyway.
So, Angela's a teenage star in 1962 who only wants to party with no thoughts of her future. She has this cocky
Oh my
boyfriend,
God.
Duke, who, like her, doesn't think about the future. Her school counselor thinks she might have a chance if she changed her outlook with starting with her grades. So she tells her if he asks one of the students, Wayne, to tutor her. And while she's with him, she finds she's attracted to him. Oh man, this goes on. All right. She asks him to be her date to the prom, but Duke, upon learning this, makes her go to the prom with him, and they get into an accident which he walks away from, but she doesn't. Yeah. Yeah,
No.
this is the Earth Angel. So then she finds herself in purgatory and would be there for years. And then one day she runs into her counselor who's passed away, who tells her that she hasn't really done enough and he allows her to enter heaven. So he tells her she has to go back to Earth to help someone. And when she's there, she doesn't know who she's supposed to help or how. And she finds this girl named Cindy who can see her. And she seems to want to be with a guy who is also like Duke. Well, a meek guy named Peter likes her, but she doesn't know it. So she helps Cindy score with the guy. And she eventually discovers that Wayne is lonely and miserable and tries to fix him up with her best friend, Judith, who is Cindy's mother, but Duke has laid claim to Judith. All right, fun. We got through that review. So Judith is the star of the show. It's Cindy Williams. Kathy Podell
Wow.
is Angela. Also, Rainbow Harvest is Cindy, so I guess the young one. Wayne,
Eric
the
Estrada
big
is Duke,
bad,
so
yeah, is Mark Hamill, and Eric Estrada is Duke. So yeah,
Wow.
I guess that's fun. That's part of Mark Hamill's villain arc, right? 1991.
I would say so. I think he tried to have he tried to have some kind of villain arc.
yeah. Well, I mean, after you're Luke Skywalker, you're like, well, I don't think I'll get cast as another hero, so I should go to villains.
Well, he did, and
then
he did it.
becomes Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the Joker was the
Yeah.
key clinch.
And he does
And
just such
also, like, the
a
Flash
fantastic
series.
job. The what?
He was in the live-action Flash series, the older one.
Oh, that's
as a
cool.
villain.
Okay, that's
Oh, that's
cool.
right. I remember that.
Called the
Yeah,
Trickster.
the trickster. He was also on some arc of like a crime show. I think like SVU or something like that. He had like a 3 episode arc where he was like it turned out he was the actual villain. Spoilers. I should have said that at the beginning. You would have to, if you see him on a crime show, he's the villain. So now I've ruined it
That
for
makes
you.
sense.
But yeah, no, he is really good at it. I mean, that's the thing that I has made me admire him for sure, is because seeing him as Luke doesn't do credit to his acting ability. You know, just the same way as seeing Robert Pattinson in Twilight doesn't give credit to his acting ability at all either. It's all about material, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also
And
early in
villains
his
are fun to
career.
play.
What's that?
Villains are really fun to play.
Hell yes. I mean, like, that's really why, like, I want to do some, like, really, like, vicious villain. Oh, shoot. Can I play with Fox? The Nova?
I mean, he's a singer.
Ah.
So
Okay, well, maybe. I would do it as Sam if I didn't do it as Peter. But like he sings in this episode, right? But that's just like because he's in the Lullaby Nebula.
yeah. He's definitely gonna be like, I don't know, just like a suave, like, singing guy. And I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's his whole thing. Is he's suave. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because he's foxy.
He's suave. He's cunning. He's every bit as scientifically intelligent as Richard.
God damn, Aaron, that's a good villain.
Yeah, he is the Moriarty. He is the Master. He is Javert. He's the good. I mean, every show needs that kind of character, I feel.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you. Yeah, well, so we've been playing with this thing where we're like, we recognize that there's a thing like where at the heart of our evil villains, they have a good reason for doing it, and then also we should have villains that are really good. like not well behaved, but they're just really good at being bad.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to like his philosophy is the opposite of the Cox, which is uh, to make himself happy.
Boy, at the cost of others.
It
Or it doesn't
doesn't have
matter.
to be, but
Right.
like if it is at the cost of others, then he takes his own priority.
Right. Well, and then of course, right, from a
Think
carnivore's point of
first.
view, yeah, you know, you gotta eat.
I got it.
Yeah, you
I
have to.
mean, you might have to eat, but I have to eat more than you have to eat.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Uh,
like your hunger is irrelevant to me because I'm not experiencing your hunger.
yeah, I'm experiencing my hunger,
Right, yeah, exactly. And your screams of
and
pain
you're
mean
looking
nothing to
pretty
me.
tasty.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
Like, get out my way, cock, before I eat you, you know?
yeah, yeah. I just came here for a light SOS snack.
He's gonna eat the tits. Okay, so it's gonna be funny because they're gonna be complaining about all these minor issues that are going on while they're being saved from some really extreme thing where he's gonna try to eat all the chicks. Or
Yeah,
as many chicks as he can eat, you know, until he's full.
you gotta eat a chick or two.
Oh
You gotta
man.
eat a chick or two. Uh,
Um, so I know what that's from. It's the Oliver Twist musical.
yeah, that's
Y-
yeah. I
Yeah.
played the villain in there. That was
No, yeah, Fagin is
Fagin.
awesome. Yeah, no, so like definitely like I got Fagin vibes from this guy because he's like
Yeah,
a self-preservationist, right? Like he's the fox. Um,
yeah,
and he's dark as the night. So
yeah.
yeah, I would
He
be that's an even cooler character. I would definitely be down to play that. And
and
then
here's the
like
thing.
as a foil to Peter too, you know?
He did not fight in the Fox Wars,
Hmm.
but he
Because
feels
he's like
that if he had, then the Foxes would have won.
the Fox Wars. Interesting. That is an interesting. Yeah, well, I bet you he didn't find the Fox Forest because he was making money for himself or something, right?
Yeah, he was just like,
He was like a merchant
an
or
entrepreneur
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. But he knows that
because
he could have tipped the battle.
the Fox government didn't buy his stuff,
Uh,
so obviously they lost. Because they could have just,
he
you
offered
know,
it and they didn't take it, so they lost. Oh wow. Oh wow. Um,
yeah,
so he's not really invested in the whole thing. He is like a mercenary. That's his whole business.
yeah, he
A
is.
mercenary warship.
Yeah, he's not the Fox government. He just
No,
is a he's just a fox who's
right.
He's
Oh,
just a
in this
fox.
he's a
universe
really
trying
wily
to live his
fox.
best.
Well, he's a space fox.
He's trying to live his best life.
Jack, I'm sorry,
He's just a
I
fox.
didn't bring you up to speed on the story, but yeah, Nova is a space fox who flies a ship called the Black
Gotcha.
Knight. Yeah. So he's like, we dropped in one of the chats, probably in this one actually. Uh, the he's just all black with speckles of white across his fur.
Yeah. Like an Arctic fox blends into its ingredients by being white, he's a space fox, so he
Yeah.
blends in by being black
Yeah, like
with
that
little white.
with all the specks across him. Yeah, yeah, and we've found our like villain for the first season and probably beyond. But like yeah, just a love for villains because he's not evil so much as just selfish, and selfishness is its own like basic kind of evil, but it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it.
And also, in liking Luna, his goal will be to convince Luna that she should think about her own happiness.
Yeah, exactly. And not the happiness of others and spreading across the universe.
Yeah, just think about your own happiness. Come along with me.
Right, yeah,
We'll think
exactly.
about our own happiness together.
Yeah. And he won't say it all dorky and weird because he's cool. He's like the coolest fox you've ever met.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the type of villain that I want, like so bad, you know, right? Like it's one that you're like, dang, dude, like if you weren't so cool, if you weren't being such an asshole, I could totally be your friend, but you know,
yeah. Like, and you could only be his friend if, like, it. benefited him in some way.
Right, of course. Right, yeah, exactly. That's the only type of friends that Fox would have. Because
Almost
otherwise,
like uh,
almost like,
uh, almost like a Gaston from Beauty and Beast.
okay,
Uh,
right, yeah, yeah. He doesn't have friends, he has allies.
yeah, or
That,
yeah,
yeah.
people just they're in his life, and he gets
Pregnant.
something out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, what did you say? But
I said he gets him pregnant.
he gets him pregnant. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gaston
Oh,
always
I'm sure
not
he has. Oh, I'm sure Dash Nova has a litter of foxes
across
all
the
around.
universe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He didn't stick around. He stuck
Little
around.
fox hearts.
Yep, breaking Fox hearts all across the universe. Because he doesn't
Hmm.
care. Your boy just
Yeah.
wanted to bust a quick nut. So, yeah, and then he's spreading his seed, which he thinks is awesome because he's superior to everybody.
Yeah.
It's just good for their genes that they got a little bit of Dash Nova.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm gonna have to write him a really cool rockin' song.
Well, yeah, I think Fagan's the right angle for sure. Um, like even if it doesn't sound like that song, like it's like that motive, right?
Yeah. There was a Buffy musical, and Spike gets this really rockin' song in that. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have to make him really cool. So I'm gonna have to, you know, try to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's definitely like all the prep work going into that meeting. That's we're probably like 2 weeks away from that, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna be starting episode 3 here coming up. Uh, probably by yeah, middle of July or beginning of July. Yeah. So yeah, it's super exciting there.
Sorry, I'm coughing so much.
You okay?
Yeah, no, it's still just like my throat just has like a little bit of stuff like bottled up in it, but it's because I haven't stopped the whole
That
time that I was not feeling well. So,
so you're saying there's crap in your lungs? Yeah.
I mean, and not in my lungs, in my throat.
Right, right. Sharon Von Etten and the attachment theory, which is fun. Yeah, I like the resurgence of this like 70s rock sound, especially with the like strong female leads. Big fan of that sound coming back.
Yeah, I love. This is Sharon Van Eaton. I love Sharon Van Eaton. This is like her new album with a different band.
Right on.
Uh, but yeah, yeah, it's pretty good in my opinion. What am I doing? Yeah, I already did their. Okay, good. Go back to
Yeah, nice
this.
work on that suit, man. You totally gave yourself a challenge by making these metal suits, like of reflective aluminum ones, but like it's just fun, right? Like it's a visual treat when you look at them because it's just like this whole like depth.
Yeah, like I'm trying not to overcomplicate them too much because I just want them to read as like a Astro suit. But
Right.
yeah, I'm trying to give them like a little bit of Kirby, like flair. Um, yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like them. See, like these
that's
little sperm squiggles.
yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly.
that's I'm trying to like get those to look pretty, just like I don't know, like cool for like a hyper reflective surface.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then it's the play of like how you have the light also like punctuating all those dark marks. Yeah, it's that's yeah, definitely it's the details, right? And that's the thing that for sure that's what like
Yeah.
it just gives it a thing. My guy, what's up, Logan Gifford? Welcome
Logan.
to Drawing with Jack.
What's up, Logan?
Oh, my headphones are currently dead, but
Oh,
let me try to get myself set up.
you're all good. We were actually just talking about one of your favorite topics, and it's the amount of detail that each of these talks have on them. Uh,
Trying to put a little bit more in now.
because that's like the thing that makes
I
things
mean, what
feel
kind of stick
real,
looking cock?
right? Couple stick looking cocks up here. Is when our brains get overwhelmed with the details, is when it starts like kind of like hallucinating because it's trying to mash it all together. Um, Obviously, there's a difference between putting in essential details and just, extraneous ones, but that's what I meant by like a piece. Because I think that's what like overwhelms us when we look like, say, nature. Or let me speak from my own personal experience. I feel like I'm overwhelmed when I look at like if you walk into a forest and you just look, you find you're surrounded by so much, like tree after
Yeah.
tree, right? Or like, and they all have these leaves on them, and you can hear things moving, and you can tell that there's stuff that lives there. Or like, if you think about the like depth of space, like it tripped me out as a kid, like realizing just how much empty space there is off the planet Earth, right? Just
Yeah.
out there, and the universe is huge. Um, like all those
Yeah.
things. I think that's what so our brain puts that in this place. It's real. It's like so big that we have to like sum it up because
Yeah.
the neural network we have can't consume it in its raw form. And so the goal of art, in my opinion, is to push it to this point where it has the amount of information that you have in it, that you put it in. So your brain has to
Yeah.
exert that force and then kind of hallucinate to like crunch it in place because it's too much information. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think that most of the universe is made up of empty space.
Yeah.
Um, like literally, like even our bodies are
Yeah, I was
made
gonna
up
say
of
that. Yeah, exactly. We're mostly empty
eh,
space.
mostly empty space. And it has always reminded me of the fact that I mean it is a matter of it can be a matter of much as what you don't draw as what you do draw.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So um
That's what I meant by essential details, right? Like you can't just put stuff in there because if you put the wrong stuff in there, it breaks the brain and goes, no, 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 that's not a real thing because of X, Y, and Z for whatever reason, you know.
yeah.
That's what I think I was talking about. Like you cross the barrier of realism because yes, they're chickens in a spaceship, but they have correct proportions. So the brain goes, oh no,
Yeah.
that's real. They're chickens in a spaceship, of course. Look at their faces. You can tell they're chickens. They're in a spaceship. And then it like willingly tracks along with it.
Yeah. I feel like I've gotten kind of lucky in that, but it's hard to I mean roosters are very iconic, I would say. It's hard to it's hard to get a rooster wrong.
I mean, facts though,
Uh,
right? Yeah, because you've been drawing like all sorts of ways, which all different angles. So that's
yeah.
I guess what you're just doing is making the brain like substitute, be like, oh, that's a rooster. Okay, cool. I don't need to, investigate it much further. Because
Hopefully.
yeah, I think what you meant by iconic is your brain holds a meme or an image, right, of what it of the rooster is, so it plugs that in to make looking at the image easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's they have just like very notable uh what's the word I'm looking for? Features. Sorry.
True.
Uh, um yeah, I guess that's what I meant. Is that they're very like
Do you mean like roosters have very notable features, as in beaks and wattles and feathers?
The beaks, wattles, feathers, the eyes, the
Right.
everything about them is just like very like I don't know, like intensely their own. I don't know how else to put it.
That's true. There's not other. You don't confuse this with something else. You definitely be
Yeah,
like,
like
oh yeah, looking at a rooster.
yeah. I feel like it makes me think this is like it's like the dinosaur that they came from. It's just like yeah, like the moment that one came on the scene, everyone was like, oh yeah, they're gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, it looks like yeah. Look, they
Like
got leather on their face. They can take a
yeah,
hit.
look at that, look at these motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. Look at these motherfuckers.
It turns out they're just also super tasty, so we decided they needed to stay around a little bit longer.
Exactly. They got a
And
little cockadoodle doo to them.
right,
Hmm.
they keep making food. You keep them around, they just keep generating food.
Turkeys would be the best at finances, like accountants,
How do you
as
figure?
far as
That
birds
seems
go,
that seems
because they would
racist.
be able to talk turkey.
Oh geez, oh geez, guys, how do you keep setting us up for this? Like you're like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the legit topic. We can definitely talk about that.
You're talking about like birds with like distinguishing features like
Yeah,
turkeys have.
it's true. And then look, yeah, like if we did have a turkey, there would be no confusion. Um,
And then the punchline was talk turkey. So I was like, what's the setup? And so I was like, okay.
you already got it. Yeah, you already had it all worked out. Yeah, we fell into a really flat. I uh I saw this Hard Times headline. You guys know Hard Times? They're like a
Hard
parody.
times?
Yeah, they're like a parody
I do not.
magazine, like The Onion was. Um,
Oh,
Okay.
right. So you like, they give you headlines. You know they're joking, but it's also they go hard on it. But it was suggesting this a crust punk podcast that was like similar to the hot ones, where they take the hot sauce and they try to see how like what the hottest level of hot sauce that they can take. But
Yeah.
since it's crust punk, they just have them puff like solvents until somebody passes out. So they just see like who the hardest crust punk is on the show.
Gotcha.
So
The hardest crust punk.
yeah. I mean, they were suggesting it as a joke, but I just want to bring it to you guys. Like, what if we spin off a show and we pitch a podcast that is actually, I mean, like, first of all,
That's actually what?
it's crust punk,
Hot ones?
but it's crust punk hot ones where they're huffing solvent instead of getting hot sauce. So they're trying to see who's the crustiest punk. That's actually, I mean, I'm gonna pitch that right now as the name of the show, the Crustiest Punk. And so,
Yeah, I would have qualms with this. I would have qualms being a part of this show.
no, but see, you're not amused by it, right? And you wouldn't tune in if it did exist. That's the thing. You're like,
I would probably tune in if it
yeah,
did exist.
yeah,
Yes, that's
exactly.
true.
Like
I probably
ethically,
would tune in if it
like
did exist. I'd be
hell
like,
no.
what the
Yeah.
fuck?
They're going for it because obviously there has to be more challenges on the show. It can't just be solvent. I mean, that's not a whole crust punk's existence, although uh, a key
I was
I
gonna
would
experience.
say
just
like
be
hot
like,
ones.
we're out
Hot
here,
ones, but the beers get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
we're out here making these punks huff solvent for our
Right.
amusement. Like,
Of
damn.
solvent. Yeah, exactly. But it would have a huge following. That's the thing, is that the people would be like
It would
they
have a
would
following for sure. I don't know if
yeah,
it would be huge.
well there'd have to be people. It would have to hit the lolcow community, and then at the point they're like, oh man, we love human misery so much.
A
Uh
lolcow community.
yeah, it would just take one of them to notice it, and then Kiwi Farms would be on the trail to
Yeah.
find who, like, if the crustiest punk is actually as crusty as they claim to be.
Like, let's find the biggest piece of shit and make
Yeah.
one up solvent.
I mean, it definitely. I think like your objection to it is it wades into the bum wars territory, right?
exactly.
Like you're like, no, it's definitely a thing we should not be taking advantage of and exploiting for money,
I just can't support Bum Wars as
right?
much as I know that I would watch
Yeah, right.
secretly
Yeah, that's the thing.
on my own
Secretly,
time.
right? All right, you'd be like, well,
Shamefully, I have to admit I would watch probably at some point, but I
eh,
don't want to support Bum Wars.
but ethically, what's the difference between Bum Wars and UFC?
I mean,
Anybody
you
weigh in
know,
on that one?
that's we imagine there's some kind of discipline involved with
They are.
UFC.
I mean, I have met some
That
really disciplined alcoholics who are getting up, getting their booze, finding their place. You know what I mean? Like they like living the life. And that's not to say that all homeless people are. But if you're in the place that you're like, hey, I'm training to, take some
I
hits,
don't know.
and I don't want to
don't
feel it. I'm going to sleep on concrete, so I'm going to toughen up my body. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm going to grow
See,
hair
like,
so that they don't have something
this
to
is
hold
the
on
thing,
to.
Like a disciplined alcoholic, like that kind of discipline isn't going to. We don't want to support that discipline because it's not going to lead to a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah, no, so you hit on the key. You hit on the key.
And being a disciplined UFC fighter, I mean, maybe that will lead. That probably will lead to CTE, but will also lead to possibly a sustainable lifestyle.
Well,
like
I
training
don't know. I mean, okay, so I agree with you if it was all about health and fitness, but at the end of the day, it's about taking punches and kicks to the face, guaranteed. Like the man who walked out of there with a broken shin, like
Yeah.
his life is completely different. You know what I mean? These guys
Listen,
are taking head.
Fight, I will be the first one to be like, hey, listen, if a bum likes to fight, I'm not telling them that the bum can't fight if they like to fight. My first concern with a bum is not allowing them to follow their dream of fighting, but getting them off the street.
Facts, right? So what your ultimate objection is that it's not in like a federation where like the bum is not getting
bum fighting where we have to get people to be homeless.
If they were getting equally
first.
paid for their time, like they were getting like a cut of profits for being like a good bum fighter.
It's like just
the problem with that model is there's a forced retirement like out of that league. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be great at first, but like once the person started making money, they couldn't fight in the league anymore. They're gonna have to move on to another league. Like all of their fame is gonna be very short-lived.
Right? Yeah. Once you're getting all that money, you're not a bum anymore.
You're not a bum anymore, right? Like they're like, listen, buddy, we're gonna hook you up with a house. We're gonna get you a car. We just need you to do one season of bum fights, And then he's like, all right, cool. Right, yeah, that's because after that, we're going to have to find another bum. Yeah, because it ain't you. And then they'd give him an opportunity to leverage, something out of that if they had, like an apprentice.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this.
But I mean, like the goal, we could pitch it as getting off the streets. Aaron Cosby, what'd you say?
You could then move up.
Getting off the streets.
Yeah, exactly.
Get pummeled off.
Get pummeled off the streets. Yeah. Well, I guess you could have a post pummeled.
Mr. Beast would have already done it if it were possible.
Get pummeled off the streets.
Terrible idea. Horrifying dystopian reality that it implies.
It's a very near possibility. Who knows? Give it 10 years. Maybe they'll be like, those guys are so prophetic. I hope not. God, I hope not.
I mean,
but
no,
again,
please.
That's the worst timeline, and it seems like we're sliding that way. But I don't want to be in this timeline anymore. Yeah.
I mean, it's the one job that AI can't do.
Oh. Dude, well, we're all gonna be homeless soon anyway, right? So maybe it'd be good for us to set up a league now.
If it were like a hit, then it would make it would give the elite a financial incentive for there to be a pool of homeless bums.
They already have a financial incentive for doing that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, more of one. You're right.
No, well,
that is a problem.
Yeah, it's been intentionally made. Like, there's this idea that a person is on the streets, so that instills the fear in their workers to keep them on the job. Like, it's necessary to have a pool of people who are homeless. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, really.
But what's to
Oh,
stop
not for a pool of
professional
homeless people.
fighters from like becoming homeless just so they could fight in the bum leagues?
I mean, really, that would be the ultimate training program, right? So, like in this far future, that's 5 years from now, or whenever it happens, may I not be alive to see it. Uh, that's the thing, right? Like, so like they're being exploited in the current case, but like if you had to train and actually live on the streets and have proof of a corroded liver or crack the crystals in your
Proof of a
lungs or
corroded liver.
whatever be
You
like,
got too
oh,
much of a liver, you can't fight.
right, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you're a
I don't
bum.
know, that
liver,
cirrhosis isn't
that's a
high
bum's
enough.
liver.
Yeah, that ain't no kid. What are you trying to pull here? That ain't no bum's liver. Yeah.
You're only drinking Dos Equis. You need at least trace.
At least
you're only
trace.
drinking pale ales. So, like, we have to get like actual spirits in here.
You're like, show me where you
cirrhosis.
sleep right now.
We need to pour hard alcohol directly on that cirrhosis.
So yeah, in that way, I mean, it would. I mean, if people were training for it, that it was the only way out of poverty. It seems like, I mean, that would be a fair route, as long as they were getting paid for it, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. You should be able to get out of poverty without getting pummeled. That should be an option.
You should be able to.
You should be able to, but right now in the system, the way that you can get out of poverty, one way you can get out of poverty is you can sign up to get pummeled by another. You can't actually. This is like, so like you can, if you like sign on to be all that you can be, then you just be like, all right, where are we fighting today? Do I get shot at or what? Right? And then you get to build up that nest egg. You get to get your education. So yeah, it already exists in the American system. This is really, I'm just saying, it's just a logical step, another branch to reach out into.
It seems like a bit of a leap, but I mean, I understand the comparison to, getting free college by being a soldier.
Yeah, and that soldiering will beat you up more than being a bum on the street, in some cases. Just like being around loud explosions for a couple of years can make you lose hearing. The stuff you have to carry, if your equipment is not correct and your boots aren't right, or you have too flat of feet or other pre-existing conditions that weren't picked up, you can destroy your ankles and knees and hips, and that's going to be the thing you have to deal with. And the VA, as far as I understand from all the veterans, is a joke. It's like impossibly hard to get the services to they did.
I would be interested to see. I mean, like if it were allowed to be, because obviously this is not something that would ever be allowed. But if it were allowed to be done, I would be interested to see how long it would last. Because of course, ultimately people are going to say, oh, like I can either get pummeled or I can, be a part of an outreach program that takes my dignity and my desire to be like an actual like contributing member of society into consideration and like.
Which one is joining the army?
Well, no. I'm not. Well, I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, joining the army is like one option, but I mean, like, there are other options. Like, yeah, like you can just choose to, I don't know, like volunteer at the church, and like maybe that gets you a job, or maybe you volunteer with a program that just like sets you up with like some kind of like trade learning thing. I don't know. Like eventually you get off the street. Anyway, I feel like people will choose those programs over getting like
getting punched.
Getting punched.
Yeah, that's right. Like like it is
for a
like.
While, people will choose getting punched, though. I mean, like, I think that there is like a market for certain people that will just want to, fight. But I would be interested to see how long it would last if we're allowed to be like a thing. Of course, it won't be allowed to be a thing, and it shouldn't be allowed to be a thing.
And it shouldn't be allowed to be a thing. But
nor should like the army shouldn't. Wars shouldn't be a thing. The army shouldn't be a thing. But.
It shouldn't be a thing that, yeah, exactly. It's the only way to get out of poverty, in some cases, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. shouldn't be so easy of a choice to choose
and
to get out
and
of.
and really also it shouldn't be something that's mandatory, as it has been in some places in time in American history.
Yeah.
That might be a hot take if anyone wants to take it. Uh,
Well, I mean, I just
because
it's really World War I and like the real like certainty that people were just put to the fucking thresher just because uh you know people thought that we need people to die. I don't know, like whole
right,
Yeah, no.
generations of people wasted, like
yep.
Yeah, I'll serve crack before I serve this country.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, right, like that they're having justifications, right, or justifications could be made, I guess, that in World War II, Hitler needed to be stopped, right? Like he's not going to if we don't join it. Like that could be made, but
Yeah,
any war or military action after that time, there's definitely questionable motives in all of them,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
Vietnam is not a place that America was supposed to be. Um, that we found out in Iraq that there were no weapons of mass destruction, and that was not. And then the war continued on there for a full generation of people, right? Like
right,
I remember that being
right,
when I was of the age that I could be drafted. Like that's the war that we were going into, and I was like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like there's no
yeah.
like I don't want to fight for this cause because like at that time I was pretty sure that there was nothing going on. It was all bolstering, right?
I don't know. Just gonna see. Okay, like that, like
But yeah, like I just worry about this generation because I mean it looks like we got war on a lot of different sides. Oh, here, there, and everywhere across the world. Um, so like
yeah.
the kids now getting who could get called into battle to like serve their country. Um, it's just like man,
Yeah, people definitely are always there's always some people that are ready to fight a war for their country or just for any reason.
right?
Um,
They believe the rhetoric, or they just want to believe the rhetoric.
or they just want to fight. Like, um, I think that defending freedom and democracy is a good reason to go to war, but our freedom and democracy are not under threat, at least not in a direct confrontational way,
Right.
like in a subterfuge, like economic, financial incentive way. Like like politicians are being bought.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The threat is not where an army is supposed to go. The
Yeah.
threat's like in the politics itself.
I feel like we're fighting a definite war of ideas.
Yeah. Well, we're in the information
And
age, so the weapons are totally different in this era. I mean, guns can still be used, but
Yeah, guns are pretty. I mean, they're pretty powerful weapons still.
it's not
yeah,
the way that the war is being fought, though, is the point that I'm getting at. Because we've gotten ourselves up into an arms race where we'll be like, oh, you're gonna nuke me, well, I'm gonna nuke you. So because of that, the war had to change into some other tactic. And what it had been happening was it was an information trading, which was making all of the planning of World War II happen. And then so it moved on. That's what the Cold War has been. It's this informational war, and it's like a war of politics, but it's like beneath the surface. It's the era that we're in now too. Possibly why the elections have been won in the way that they've been won because it's been proven that Russian bot farms created echo chambers for both the right and the left during political campaigns, which influenced the election. You know what I mean? It's like that's the type of war that's going on, in addition to the missiles that are being dropped and the soldiers that are being sent in.
Yeah, like that's what I'm talking. I mean, like it's a very like like um war of yeah, like ideas in the way that like we give ourselves permission to do things with the guns. Because
Right.
like yeah, like the guns are definitely being used to do some very horrific things, but we keep giving ourselves permission to have and use the guns. So, it's very like it's a very I don't know, like after the idealism of the 80s and the 90s, it's just a very wild time to be because it's just like
Right. Fair.
every piece of progress we believed that we had been making is just being proven to be a complete fucking lie. Um,
Yeah. Well, the pendulum has
and
definitely swung back. Right.
for sure, I mean,
Like we
like
thought we could win wars with ideas, and then the other side is like, "Oh yeah, I mean ideas are cool, but also we have guns, and you don't seem to be willing to use guns, so we win." Uh,
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's definitely so. It's a what's the multi-front war for sure. It was definitely not just like yeah, exactly. Because you don't strike in just one place. And then also right, yeah, we have seemed hesitant to use guns because we don't want to start a nuclear arms race. Uh, you know, but if we do, at least in the meantime, there was Cox in space, and we were here being stoked about exploring the universe and spreading continuous across it. So, um,
being stoked about the universe,
right, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like
like you're
stoking it, stroking it. Wait,
stroking the universe.
stroking the cocks in space.
stroking these cocks in space.
And that, uh, so Aaron, do you think then that if if because America, right, traditionally has had like more of a relaxed response, or at least they take their time before they jump into the fight. But when that happens, do you think it would be just for our government to draft people or draft kids if they
One of
draft?
the good things about living here so far
Mhm.
is that we have enough of a volunteer army
Oh, cool.
where
Okay,
we don't have to do that.
gotcha. And they haven't gotten chewed up so
Whereas
much, right? Like,
other
right?
countries are small, they they don't have that luxury of
Gotcha.
having like that. Like because if it was just volunteer, they'd have no army. Like Europe.
Okay,
Uh,
but let's say that we jump into the far future where people are trying to get out of poverty by joining their local bum league and training as a bum, so that they can win fights and get out of poverty. And,
He wants this bubbling to happen.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And in this far future, America and Russia have been involved in a prolonged war of say like a couple 3 years, 3 4 years. And the reserve army they've used, but there's been a lot of casualties. So,
I like if they have to draft,
mhm.
I think they should draft people in sports first since they're already basically trained.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. And that's stuntmen from movies, since they're already pretty much in shape as well.
Yeah. Like they
Okay,
should get the people who would perform the best in war. Uh
okay, yeah, yeah,
just
fair. So what you're saying is, at that point in that future, they're going to be taking the bum fighters because
yeah.
they're going to be the most trained to take a hit.
because the only ones that are going to get out of poverty in the bum fights are the ones that win.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But there's all those other people
Oh, hell
who
yeah.
could easily be offered out of poverty through the military.
So
Normal.
so it's
Just
actually
like normal.
just like normal.
Ouch.
So we've rooted them back into the system.
I mean, even when I watched Hamilton, like Hamilton wanted to join in the army because it was the only way to go from a poor person to an officer, so that after the war he would be a person of status
Yeah,
rather than a
exactly.
poor person.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
for some people, it's like one of the only ways to get ahead, and it's always been like that. Like
well,
if
I
you
mean,
distinguish yourself
yeah.
on the battlefield, then you have a shot of going up in rank, going up in how much they pay you, and like that can be better than anything that you were brought up in.
Like,
Right. Well, and then all the battlefields are different too. Like you could distinguish yourself in the tech field with that same sort of response,
Yeah, I mean
or in
that's why Army has
entertainment
like
or sports.
engineers.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you could also distinguish yourself in the sciences. I remember I didn't watch Will and Grace a lot, but I feel as though there was like some episode where like there was like a army for like a lawyer that was involved in the army or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, so like there's different ways that you can serve the government.
Oh, right. A lawyer
And
yeah, a military lawyer. Yeah, they exist.
yeah, so like even now, like you can, well, not as much since Doge, but like,
yeah.
there are ways of being a civil servant and getting out of poverty that way, and working for the government. And it doesn't have to be the military. There's other jobs that you can do. Like if you work hard and you go to school and you focus on, building a life for yourself, like a person can get out of poverty.
That's what they say, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the American dreams. So.
Yeah. No, that is the dream. I feel more and more like it's just the carrot that's actually sitting on our shoulders, and just a little bit out of reach. And every time we pick up a little speed, it's still right in front of you. Can't quite snap at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it does seem like the American dream is that you actually have to start with money, and then once you have it, you can do whatever you want. That's kind of what it seems like.
I mean, that's like easy mode for sure.
Yeah.
Like then there's like what we're doing. We're creating and trying to get our way into success through creativity.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I haven't eaten yet, so yeah, my brain's of course on the negative side. But yeah, exactly, right. Like and that's what I was trying to point out earlier. Like you can distinguish yourself in any number of ways. The military is one way to do it, has been one way to do it. But good businessmen or other heroes of sorts have found ways to do it, and this is definitely one way to do it.
But I mean, if bum fighting is all you know, then that's the only way to get out.
Well, sometimes there's just things that you're good at. You should accept the truth about yourself and then just fight your way to the top.
Yeah.
It's still such a terrible idea. Just for the record, we're not officially endorsing this on the show.
Sounds like we are. Sounds like
all.
we're endorsing bum fighting.
It is definitely just a running gag. Just for the record, this is just a running gag, and I do not want bums to fight each other.
Sounds like
it's
we're
just a
endorsing...
metaphor for our current economic situations.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately,
Man, all just bums fighting.
Yeah. Only at the end of the day, we're just bums fighting each other. So
At the end of the day,
At the end
it's
of
a
the
bunch of
day,
bums.
it's the
I
bump.
mean, that's what they did at the
Thank you,
Coliseum,
Logan
right?
Gifford.
It
Yeah.
was just basically bum fights.
They were not bums. They were not. I mean, some of them were criminals. Some of them were gladiators. Like it was their life career.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were slaves that were thrown there. So I guess you could consider slaves bums. They weren't really. I mean, a slave is different than a bum because a slave is doing work, right? Like they.
Yeah.
You
Did
know,
they really have a lot of bums because they could just make them slaves?
I think that was part of
mean,
why they weren't.
they
Yeah, you didn't
definitely
get
had
it.
bums.
You,
saying
yeah, well,
Diogenes was a crazy bum, but his
yeah,
credit is being
there
a
were people
philosopher.
who were out wandering.
Yeah.
There's a different concept of vagrancy at that point, right?
Different concept of vagrancy.
Well, because there's a lot of land that's not owned, so for you to just live in the woods is not like a crime at all.
Well, I
Where
think
now the woods
education.
belong to
See,
somebody.
I think education is one thing we're taking for granted because it's like I think back then it was very rare to have any kind of education
Sure.
outside of like a single trade.
Right.
So I think a lot of people, if they did a lot of work, didn't have like anything to, I don't know, necessarily fall back on unless they had like a ton of money. If they had a ton of money, they could probably, I don't know, learn something else. But education.
I mean, the traits they had and they learned from their parents were like generationally like still important. So like you could still make a good living as a blacksmith if that was your family's trade.
Also, you most likely had. Sorry. You most likely had a community of people around you as well, because your family's not going to be too far away. So unless you're all traveling together, then that's a different thing. You're like your own portable village.
Yeah.
Jack, it is 9 o'clock. If you need to make your call, yeah, I don't want you to miss it.
Sorry. Damn, dude, that went by real quick.
Yeah, fun times for sure. Great amount.
We got this panel. I think this panel. I mean, besides the background, I was just thinking like what I needed to make the background. I think I was just gonna make it like a solid color, just because they're singing.
Yeah, that's fair. They're like on the bridge, but they're singing, so they're definitely part of their theme song right now. It's probably fading into that in that shot of the stuff that's happening like around them.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to it on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
I won't be here, but
oh, you have a show. Oh, what's your show? When's it happening?
I have a show on Tuesday. I also just got booked for a show on the 22nd. I don't know when that will.
Okay, cool. 22nd of June?
June, yeah.
And where's it at?
That is also up in Detroit.
Okay, that's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Both of those. So yeah, if you want to check out Aaron Cosville, you can check him out up in Detroit on the 22nd. I'm sure Aaron, was it professorofcomedy.com? Is that your website?
Comedy.com, yeah.
Yeah, you can check it out for his booking details. All that. Jack, it's good to see you, man. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, you guys have a good rest of your evening. I am out of here.